Good evening to all. Today we discuss about the topic .NET Framework, C Sharp. First one is C Sharp overview. C Sharp is a modern and general purpose programming language. It is an object-oriented programming language and also is developed by Microsoft and approved by European Computer Manufacturers Association (ECMA) and is also called an International Standard Organization (ISO). The next C Sharp was developed by Anders Hedberg and his team during the development of .NET Framework. C Sharp is designed for Common Language Infrastructure (CLI), which consists of executable code and runtime environment. It allows use of various high-level languages on different computer platforms and architecture. That means we can use the C Sharp code either Windows operating systems, Linux operating system, and Apple OS. So it is a multi-platform languages. So the following reasons make C Sharp widely used in the professional languages. So it is a modern and general purpose programming languages, and then it is an object-oriented programming languages. Then next, it is a component-oriented. It is easy to learn. And then next, it's a structured programming language and it produces efficient programs. It can be compiled on variety of computer platforms and it is a part of .NET framework. So these are called the C Sharp as professional languages. And then next to the following a list of few important features of C Sharp languages are used. First one is Boolean condition, automatic garbage collection, standard library, assembly versioning, properties and events, delegates and events management, easy to use generics, indexer, conditional compilation, simple multi-threading, link and lambda expression, and integration with Windows. And then next topic is .NET Framework. So what is meant by .NET Framework? So a .NET Framework is a revolutionary platform that helps you to write the following types of applications. There are many applications are used in .NET Framework. The first one is Windows application, second one web application, third one web services. These are the major applications in .NET Framework. So in .NET Framework, applications are multi-platform applications. That means Windows applications, Linux operating systems, and Apple OS. Most of those platforms it will be worked. And then the framework has been designed in such a way that it can be used from any of the following languages like C Sharp, C++, Visual Basic, JavaScript, and COBOL. So COBOL is the basic programming languages, these common business-oriented languages. Then .NET Framework consists of enormous library of codes used by the client language such as C Sharp. So some of the components are used in .NET Framework. The major components are CLR, Common Language Runtime System, the .NET Framework Class Library, Common Language Specification, Common Type System, Metadata and Assemblies, Windows Forms, ASP.NET and ASP.NET Ajax and ADO.NET. It is ActiveX data objects in database applications. Then Windows Workflow Foundation, that is WF. Then Windows Presentation Foundation, WPF, and Windows Communication Foundation, WCF. Then link Q. Then C Sharp variable. So what is meant by variable? So variable is a name given to a storage area that our programs can manipulate it. So each variable in C Sharp has a specific type which determines the size and the layout of the variable's memory. The range of the value can be stored. So variable means, suppose if we consider a variable name x, y, z, x equal to 100 and y equal to 200, then z is equal to x plus y. So this is an example for variable. So variable is a x. X equal to 100 means the value 100 will be assigned to x, and y equal to 200 means 200 will be assigned to value of y. So finally we can add the two values x plus y and the result will be stored in C. So this is an example for variables. So there are some basic value types provided in C Sharp languages. So first one is integral type. Integral type means S type, byte, and the short integer, unsigned short integer, integer, unsigned integer, long integer, unsigned long integer, and character. So these are the integral types. Floating point types, it is a float and double values. Decimal types is a decimal value, is a fractional value. Then Boolean types, true or false values are assigned. That means true means it is 1, false means it is 0. Then nullable types, nullable, it is a 0 value. Okay, or you understand the topic? Okay, so next one, so defining variables. So variable, we can define the variables. So basic syntax is data type and variable list. So data type must be either in integer, float, double, or character data type. So, or any user defined data type. And variable list means it consists of one or more identifier names separated by commas. Some of the valid variable definitions are shown in here. So int I, j, k, character c, ch, float f, salary, and double d. So here int is an integer data type, and then character is a character data type, float is a floating point values, and double is the double data type. So I, j, k are the variables, int is a data type. Similarly, the c, h is a variable name, and char is a character data type, and f, salary is a variable name and is a floating point variables, and d is a double data type and d is a variable name. Then how we initialize the variables by using C# code. So variables are initialized with an equal sign followed by a constant expression. So the general form of initialization is variable name equal to value. That means the variables can be initialized in their declaration. For example, data type variable name equal to value. So some of the examples are given here. So int d is equal to 3 and f is equal to 5. So d is equal to 3 means, so this is an integer data type, and 3 will be assigned to d and 5 will be assigned to f. Byte z is equal to 22. So 22 will be assigned to z. Then double pi equal to 3.14159. It is a floating point value that will be assigned to pi. Then char x is equal to x will be assigned to x. Similarly, another one example for variable initialization. So using system namespace variable definition, open curly brace, class program. So static void main string arguments, open curly brace, short a, int b, double c. So here the using system means you are using the system library functions in your project. And then using the namespace, it will indicate it is a keyword to declare the scope of the set of related objects. And then short a, int b, double c. So a is a variable name, b is also a variable name, and c is also a variable name with different data types. Okay, the next one, how we initialize the value with the help of variable. So a equal to 10 and b equal to 20, c is equal to a plus b. So end with termination, we must use semicolon operator. Okay, so these are the initialization of variable names. Then console write line, open bracket, within double quotation, a is equal to 0, b is equal to 1, and c is equal to 2, within double quotation closed, and a, b, c. So this is the output statement. This is the positioning of the console windows 0, 1, and 2. And console read dot line, it is an input function. Finally, how many number of braces are opening from the beginning? That number of braces should be closed at the end of the program. So when the above code is compiled and executed, it produces the following result: a equal to 10, b equal to 20, and c is equal to, finally, we can add the two values a and b. We get the result 30. Okay, so this is the example for initialization of variables. So next one, C# constants and letters. What is meant by constants? Constants refer to fixed values that the program may not alter during its execution. It is a fixed values, are also called as letters. Constants can be of any of the basic data types like integer constant, floating point constant, and then character constants, or a string literal. So these are also enumeration constant as well as. So next, integer constants, integer literal. So integer literal can be a decimal or hexadecimal constant. A prefix specifies the base or radix 0x or 0 capital X for hexadecimal notation, and there is no prefix ID for the decimal. Here are some examples of integer literals. 212, it is a legal statement. 215 small u, it is a legal statement. 0x capital F E E small capital L, it is also legal statement. Then floating point literals. What is meant by floating point literals? Floating point literal has an integer part, a decimal point, and fractional part, and an exponential part. It contains 3 parts. So you can represent floating point literals either a decimal form or exponential form. Maybe represented either decimal form or exponential form. So here are some examples of floating point literals. 3.14159, it is a legal statement. Then the same statement should be written as an exponential form. 3.14159 capital E hyphen 5F. This is the exponential form notation. Then character constants. So character constants or the literals are enclosed in a single quotes. So it should be enclosed in single quote. For example, X and can be stored in a simple variable of character type. A character literal can be a plain character such as X or an escape sequence character /T or a universal character such as U0 to CO. That is a forward slash. So there are certain characters in C# when they are preceded by a backslash operator. So these are some of the examples of escape sequence characters in C#. So forward to backslash means it is a single character notation. On single backslash quotation, it is a character notation. Single backslash double quotation, it is a character notation. Single backslash question mark is a character notation. /A, it is alert or build symbol. /B, it is a backspace symbol. /F, it is a form feed notation. /N is used for new line character. /R is carriage return value. /T is a horizontal tab value. /B, it is used for vertical tab notation. Then string literals. Okay, are you understand this topic? Okay, next we discuss about string literals. String literals or constants are enclosed in double quotation. String is a sequence of characters. Okay, a string contains characters that are similar to character literals, either plain characters or escape sequences and a universal characters. So here are some examples of string literals are there. So hello within double quotation comma dear. So this is the string constants example. Hello, then backslash comma dear. This is also one of the string literals. Then hello comma capital double quotation single D year. These are also string literals. And hello dear. This is also, it is a string literal notation. Okay. Are you understand this topic? Okay, fine. So next one is .NET framework. So what is .NET framework? The .NET framework is a new revolutionary platform created by Microsoft for developing applications of different projects. So it is a platform for application developers. It is a framework that supports multiple language and cross-language integration. It has IDE. IDE means it is integrated development environment. Framework is a set of utilities or can say building blocks or your application systems. .NET is a platform independent but with help of mono compilation system, that is MCS. It is a middle level interface, and the .NET framework provides the interoperability between the languages, that is common type system CTS. Then .NET framework, the CTS is a CTS, it may be used in .NET framework, common type system. So .NET framework includes the .NET common language runtime system, which is responsible for maintaining, maintaining the execution of your application of your project. So the .NET framework consists of primarily genetic library of code. So next one is the architecture diagram of .NET framework. So architecture contains 3 parts. The first one is architecture will contains 3 parts. First one is Windows Form, second one web forms and the console application. So Windows Forms contains majorly 3 tools are used: the controls, drawing tools, and Windows application. Okay. The next web forms contains web controls and web services. So fully web-based applications. It contains 2 parts: server control and client control systems, and also the ASP.NET web applications, active server-based.NET web applications. So console applications can be used either an input and output function that can be manipulated with help of console applications. The second part is a .NET framework base class library. It is a BCL. So it contains major parts are ADO.NET. It is the ActiveX data objects. It is used in database application systems and then diagnostic systems, remote sensing controls, threading. Threading is a multi-threading. Threading we can use try catch throw and exception mechanisms, and reflection and IO, input and output operations used in C# code. Then third part is a CLR. CLR is a common language runtime systems. It contains two major tools. One is garbage collector GC and another one is code manager. Garbage collector means unnecessary data can be removed with help of memory systems. Okay, that is the major role in garbage collector. The next one is architecture of CLR. CLR is a common language runtime systems. It contains three parts. So first one, CTS, it is a common type system. It involves all the data type definitions can be manipulated. Then CLS, so common language specification. And then MISL. MISL is a Microsoft Intermediate Language. Microsoft Intermediate Language. This is a major role in .NET Framework, and also the GCE, garbage collector, and the CM, it is a code manager. Another one is the class loader. So class loader, all the class files can be loaded with help of this part. So when we execute a program, so if we want to execute a particular program in C# or object-oriented languages, we can create an object in main method. So that object will be directly called with help of framework. Main members can be executed. Okay. So the next one is CLS. CLS is a common language specification. It is a subset of CTS. It's a common type system. All the instruction in CLS, that is instruction of CTS written in CLS. So next one is code manager. What is code manager? Code manager invokes class loader for execution. See, a .NET supports two kind of coding. One is managed code, another one is unmanaged code. What is meant by unmanaged code? So the resource which is within your application domain is called managed code. Resource which within your application is called managed code. And then the code which is developed in .NET framework is known as managed code. The code is directly executed by CLR. Only with help of CLR, the code will be executed for managed code. And then any language that is written in .NET framework is a managed code. Any language, for example, C# or F# like that. Like this, we can execute the code with the help of CLR. So managed code, next one is the managed code uses CLR, which in terms looks after your application by managing the memory and handling security mechanisms and allowing cross-language debugging and so on. So debugging means that we can detect the errors in the program. This is the main major role in managing code. Next one is how the managed code it works based on the C# code. So this is an execution process of managed code. The source code is given to the computer. That code will be converted into machine language. That means Microsoft Intermediate Language code. That code will be given to executable code. That is, we are using the just-in-time compiler, and then finally the code sent to the CPU. CPU is Central Processing Unit. So that in the unit, we can processing all the set of codes, and then finally we will get the result of the given languages. So for example, if we given the code is source code, the source code will be converted into machine code, that is machine understandable language. That code will be executed on the final result of the output. So source code means any language written code in .NET framework, and a native compiler means this is an object code. Native compiler means so whenever the code is typed on your machine, that code will be converted into machine code with help of compiler. Okay. And Microsoft Intermediate Language code means it is a language independent within the .NET framework, and then that code will be given to the just-in-time compiler. That compiler will convert the source code into object code. Okay, so this is the execution process of managed code. And then another one is the unmanaged code. What is meant by unmanaged code? So unmanaged code is defined as the code which is developed outside the .NET framework is known as unmanaged code. So application that do not run under the control of CLR, that said to be unmanaged. Certain languages such as C++ can be used to write such applications, which is an example of low-level functions of operating system. That is called unmanaged code. Unmanaged code can be unmanaged source code and also the unmanaged compiled code. You can both the codes can be unmanaged. Unmanaged code is executed with the help of wrapper classes. So wrapper classes contains two types. One is CCW and another one is RCW. That is callable wrapper and RCW runtime callable wrapper. Okay, so these are the two types are available. And then wrapper is used to cover the difference with the help of CCW and RCW. Then COEM callable wrapper unmanaged code execution process is given here. The source code is given to machine. So Microsoft intermediate language that it will process the source code, and with the help of just-in compiler, that code will be executable code, and then finally it will given to the CPU, central processing unit. The central processing unit, here the code will be converted into machine code. Finally, we will get the output. The next one is runtime callable wrapper unmanaged code execution process. So this is the unmanaged code runtime callable wrapper unmanaged code processing stage. So first one is source code, then second one is Microsoft intermediate code, and third one is executable code, and the fourth one is CPU. Finally, we will get the output of the given result. Okay. So next one is important topic is native code. What is meant by native code? In general programming language, there are three major tools are used. The first one is assembler, then compiler, interpreter. So what is meant by compiler? Compiler, it converts the source code into object code. That is the process of compiler. Then interpreter to check the program, whether the program is correct or not, to check the program line by line manner. Suppose if you want any errors, means that error will be indicated with help of interpreter tool. And then assembler, it is used for assembly language code into mnemonic codes. So what is meant by native code? The code to be executed must be converted into language that is the target operating system understand is known as native code. So this conversion is called compiling code and act as a compiler. So under the .NET framework, however, this is a two-stage process with the help of MISIL, that is Microsoft Intermediate Language, and JIT compiler, just-in-time compiler. The next one, what is meant by MISIL? So Microsoft Intermediate Languages, it is a language independent code. When you compile a code that is use of .NET framework library, you don't immediately create an operating system specific native code. So instead of your compiler, your code into a Microsoft Intermediate Language code. So that code is not a specific to any operating system, to any languages. So another one is just-in-time compiler. So just-in-time compiler, which compiles the MSIL into native code. That means source code is converted into machine code. So only at this point can the operating system execute the application for the particular project. So just-in-time part of the name that reflects the fact that MISIL code is only compiled as when it is needed. So in the past, it was often necessary to compile your code into several applications that can be used in .NET framework applications. So JIT are three types. It can be categorized into three types. The first one, pre-JIT, second one is ECNO-JIT, third one, normal JIT. So pre-JIT, it converts all the code in executable code and it is slow process. Second one, ECNO-JIT, it will convert the called executable code only, but it will convert the code every time when a code is called again. That is called ECNO-JIT. The normal JIT, it will only convert the called code and will store in cache and it will not require converting code again. So this is called normal JIT and it is fastest one. And then next, garbage collector. The another one called is garbage collector. One of the most important feature of managed code is the concept of garbage collection. So this is .NET method of making sure that the memory used by an application is freed by completely when the application is no longer used. This is the main major role in garbage collector. Okay. And then next, processing in different stages of C# code written by using the .NET framework. So this is the step one. Application code is written using .NET. It is a compatible language C#. So C# code is given to the machine. The step two, the code is compiled with the help of MIS, Microsoft Intermediate Language, which is stored an assembly processor. This is the second stage. And then third stage, third step, when this code is executed, either in it is own right if it is an executable, or when it is used from other code. So it must be compiled into native code by using JIT compiler. This is the third stage. That is, assembly language code is converted into machine language. That is called native code. And then step four, the native code is executed in the context of the managed CLR along with the any other running application or process. So this is the final stage of the given programming. And then next one is the garbage collection. So garbage collection is the process of removing unwanted resources when they are no longer required. It is called a garbage collector. That means unwanted data can be removed with the help of memories. And then these are the major tools in programming languages. In major tools are available. One is the assembler, loader, and a linker. So language, what is my language? This is first level of programming language itself the most common ones in VB, .NET or C#. Then compiler, the source code can be converted into machine code, that is called compiler. Common language interpreter, this is the final layer in .NET which would be used to run a .NET developed by programming languages. Then .NET framework design principles, there are some 5 design principles are available. First one, interoperability. The .NET framework provides a lot of backward support systems. Then portability. So application built on the .NET framework can be made to work on any Windows platform. That means Windows operating system, Linux operating system, or Apple OS. So that can be designed multi-platform oriented languages. And then security. So .NET framework has a good security mechanisms. It can be used in inbuilt security mechanism with the help of both validation and verification of your applications. And then memory management system. So the common language runtime does allow the work of memory management scheme. So the .NET framework has all the capability to see these resources which are not used by a running of a program. The last one is the simplified deployment. So deployment means finally we can deploy the project for the entire code. So the .NET framework also have the tools which can be used to package of applications built on the .NET framework. Okay, so these are the design principles of .NET framework. Next one is inheritance. So inheritance means it allows you to define a child class that reuse and extends or modifies the behavior of the parent class. So inheritance, the main property of inheritance is we can reuse the code again and again. So the class whose members are inherited is called a base class. In C#, inheritance is a process in which one object acquires all the properties of behaviors of its parent object automatically. So the class which inherits the members of another class is called derived class, and the class whose members are inherited is called base class. So this is an example of single inheritance. Single inheritance, when a class inherits another class, it is known as single level inheritance. Here, using system public class employee. So public is an access specified device, class is a keyword, employee is the name of the class, public float salary 40,000. And then public class programmer employee and public float bonus equal to 10,000. Here the salary is a variable name. The 40,000 is a value. That value will be assigned to salary. Here the programmer is another class. That is the employee is another class name. So bonus is a variable name and value is 10,000. So finally we can inherit those two classes with the help of main method. We can create an object. Based on this object, we can access the class member variable and also the methods. So here the method variables, here the objects are P1. So programmer P1 equal to new programmer. So console write line and salary P1 dot salary means the first class member variable can be accessed. The console dot write line bonus P1 dot bonus means the second class member variable can be accessed. Finally, we will get the output of the above code is salary is equal to 40,000 and then bonus equal to 10,000. So this is an example of single inheritance. And also the another one is the multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance means one class can have more than one super class, is called multiple inheritance. So this is the base class. C is the base class. A and B are called the derived class. This is a super class of given input. And then this is an example for multiple inheritance using the systems, using system collections. So interface 1, interface GFG1. This is the base class. Based on the base class, we can derive another two classes, GFG1 and GFG2. So these are two are called the derived classes. So creating array list. So array list, we can create four number of variables are created. So based on the object, we can access the values with the help of member variables. So these are the example for multiple inheritance. So finally, we will get the output as like derived class in main method, and then this is an object. So output is language provided by Geek for Geek and C, C++, C Sharp, and Java. So this is the final output course provided by Geek for Geek. So that's all about today's session. Thank you for all.